taking a chance. Telling me to dance, taking a chance. Telling me to dance, taking a chance.
Into the music here, man.
Just so into it. If you folks don't know, here at Diamonds of Music Live, we like to dance and express ourselves to that beautiful house track right before we come on the air. It gets us pumped.
Yeah, we're our free giveaway this week is just glow sticks, man.
Totally. Oh my gosh, I love it. That's so great, man. How are you doing today, Pasquale?
I'm doing well, my brother. I'm doing well. A little grateful, and just kind of mentally checked out. The son is ending his school year next week, and I mean, in a couple weeks we're heading out to Italy for in a few weeks. So I'm kind of like literally just like wanting to get the heck out of Dodge already. So
it's that thing that happens when you have a big trip, right? Like
sure.
you're already leaving on that trip before you depart. But that is going to be a big part of what we're talking about today is your Italy trip and being on location. It was a couple of weeks ago now that I was on location in Hawaii. That was nice.
Yeah, for sure. It's always beautiful to just to enjoy just an incredible nature and surroundings. I think what I want to talk about in the beginning of our show today, if it's cool, I actually lived in Italy back in '04, and so my function was really a translator. I was working with a big diamond wholesale company and got kind of uncovered a lot of the secrets of the wholesale Italian jewelry world, and I just want to talk about the history of Italian metallurgy and jewelry making. And I always laugh that like pretty much the Roman Empire waged war, and that they were dominant for a while there, and then I think they kind of figured out that they could sell jewelry instead of it was a lot less bloody and arguably more profitable. So
that's how they realized to really take over the world was with gold, huh?
With fashion and gold, yeah. And we see all the dominance of
point.
It's cool. I think
that's true. That's a great legacy, man. So I want to plug people back in who don't know. I mean, I know some customers and clients know, but maybe not everyone who sees this. So Angelucci Jewelry has a connection to Italy, huh?
Yeah, and so
And what about your grandfather? That's really what I'm fishing for, is to just tell us a little bit about your connection and where you're going back to, and the lineage of your family in Italy. I think that's really cool for us to know, and then we're going to get to go visit that with you here at the show.
Definitely. My maternal great grandfather Domenico was a watchmaker, and he had a jewelry store in this small little town in between Rome and Naples, and the name of the town is Atina, and that's spelled Atina. So Atina is pretty much smack dab in the middle of Rome and Naples, and so then he retired, and my grandfather Emilio took it over, and then my uncle Domenico took it over, and my cousin is still running Angelucci Jewelry in this small little town of Atina. And folks came over in '69, but the area was just like the Aztecs in Mesoamerica took over all the warring tribes, right, and kind of consolidated the Aztec Empire. The same thing happened with the Romans, and so all these sort of local tribes, were one by one just taken over strategically by the Roman Empire and the Roman army. They were just more organized and so forth. So in my mom's area in Atina, there was a people called the Sanites. So the
Mm.
Saniti. So it's Sannite. So the Sanites. The reason why the Romans had an interest in, taking over this sort of Valley of Comino area where Atina is located, is because of the iron foundries in the hills surrounding
Mm.
Atina, and so they build up this really thriving, economy based on building, making weapons, and
Wow.
so that's why the Romans decided, and they mentioned that in books like the Aeneid. So a lot of Roman authors spoke about Atina. Believe it or not, it's kind of a ghost town nowadays, but it was really important 2,000 years ago. So it's just interesting how
Well, but the cool, I don't know if I've heard you talk about that, or I forget when you had, like, that it's known for metallurgy, though.
it
Like,
is,
how
and
interesting is that iron metallurgy is still metallurgy, and so is jewelry and gold.
so is jewelry and gold. And so they're like, "Hey guys, can't beat them, join them. We're part of the Roman Empire now. Let's
For
start
sure.
making." So it's kind of literally in my DNA, and so really, really fascinating. And so when
Mm.
I decided to move to Italy and start this adventure in business with this diamond wholesale company, we literally drove up and down Italy searching for the epicenters. Where's jewelry being produced here? Where are the
Mm.
wholesale centers of diamond and jewelry production in Italy? Well, eventually, after some trial and error, we discovered that there's really three. There's obviously production throughout the whole country of Italy, but three main jewelry and diamond jewelry manufacturing production centers in Italy. So
Mhm.
first one is Arezzo. So Arezzo is Arezzo, and that's kind of right outside of Florence.
Mm.
So, and part of the Renaissance and the whole flourishing of, you know, the the artisanship of the local jewelers there. So Arezzo kind of became, for whatever reason, the hub for a lot of bread and butter like gold jewelry. So we're talking about
Mm.
jewelry without stones, mostly just gold chains, stuff like that. So Arezzo is the first point of production.
Which is in the middle of the country, right? Florence is just north of Rome. I mean,
That's
anyone can
right.
look at a map. I
Mhm.
was there and had a great experience, and I remember probably one of the biggest tourist destinations is this famous bridge. Is it the Ponte Vecchio? Is that
Yeah,
the
the old
bridge?
bridge. Yeah, the old bridge of
And
Vecchio.
doesn't it have a lot of jewelry shops that are the little shops on that bridge?
Yeah, oh yeah,
Or
and
it
some of them,
did?
yeah, it still does, and it's still a thriving, artisan community, not only with jewelry but with other,
Mm.
bookbinding and fabrics, and
Wow.
the Silk Road, and all these like basically mom and pop, businesses that have survived, and some of them have flourished, and some of them we know more than others, like Gucci and so forth. But all of those icon brands, Italian brands that we remember, started with just one location, and with the idea of just bringing integrity to their family name. So it's pretty amazing. And
And
I,
that's that Arezzo. I mean, all of that is tied to the history of this as a region of jewelry, the Arezzo region, the first of the three, right?
yeah, the Arezzo, the city of Arezzo. So that's the first of the
Okay.
three. That's number one. Number two is where I ended up living for 2 years. It's a city called Valenza. So Valenza is on the Po River. It's kind of about an hour south of Turin, where the Winter Olympics happened
Oh,
back in,
yeah.
I believe it was 2006. So in famous, Italian fashion, I think they finished the city like a week before the Olympics, happened. And they're like, "Hey guys, we got a deadline." So,
But it looked great. It looked great, though.
yeah, it was amazing. And so like, again, going back to the idea of like, family names. So one of
Mm.
the reasons why I decided to name my company Angelucci Jewelry is that's my mom's maiden name, so the last name. Just using all of these different companies that I ended up doing business with in Valenza, they were just called their last name. Stavorini Fratelli, Pasquale Bruni, hundreds and hundreds of companies. I have a database somewhere of like probably 3,000 companies. So incredible city, of mainly like diamond jewelry. So we're talking like kind of the creme de la creme luxury jewelry market. These artisans and these master craftsmen producing some of the most amazing jewelry I've seen, and just light years ahead of anything that's going on in other countries. The fact that, I mean, like rose gold, for example, like, God, we didn't see that here in the States until maybe 5 years ago in '06, when I was out there living and working. It was already kind of prevalent. And so, I don't believe that Italy is the center of everything, but, different countries affect each other, and, Japan and American streetwear and stuff. But like,
Totally.
so Valenza is number 2. So we have Arezzo in Tuscany.
Help me place, because I love the map. I remember when you lived in Valenza, it's in the north, pretty far, like north of Venice, sort of. It's kind of
No,
over.
it's not. It's not.
No,
So
okay,
you're
okay.
thinking of you're thinking of the Veneto region is in the east, towards
Okay, yeah.
Europe.
Okay,
So if this is Milano,
yeah.
right? There's a triangle. There's Torino is over here in the west.
Okay,
This-
okay,
we're talking like an hour south of the Alps, right? That's
okay, right.
this border. So you go a little bit north, and you hit Switzerland and different countries. So Milano's here in the eastern area. I'm doing it backwards because I know the screen flips us, right?
That's okay.
And so Milan, Torino, and Genova is here on the coast. So this little triangle, Milano, Torino, and Genova here on the coast in Liguria.
Yeah.
Valenza was actually smack dab in the middle of that little triangle.
Okay.
Valenza, and arguably the most boring city in the world as far as nightlife, but a lot of jewelry production. So,
and I should just, the only other thing I want to say is, like, this is part of our path. Like, remember here in episode 12, you heard it finish their day, but like in Valenza, there's some of the most incredible designers, right? They're doing stuff that's ahead of the curve.
Amazing jewelry design.
And not many people are presenting that in the United States of America. Like, if
No.
we intend to build this and to be able to bring some of the highest quality and caliber jewelry design and custom design pieces in the world.
Definitely. I mean, father to son, sometimes hundreds of years old companies, and just, like, people always think of these brands like Rolex and Gucci, but there's so much other stuff that I would love to be the part of a mission to uncover some of that stuff. So Valenza's number 2, right? So we have Arezzo in Tuscany, Valenza Po in Piedmont or Piemonte, about an hour south of Torino or Turin, and then as you were mentioning earlier, near Venice. So Verona, Romeo and Juliet, the country, the region of Veneto actually produces like 75% of the GDP of the whole country. So needless to say, it's incredibly important economic center for many different industries, including jewelry. So Venice is kind of on the coast here, right? The eastern coast, on the Adriatic. Verona is where the famous Romeo and Juliet, Shakespeare, blah blah blah. So that was the fictitious setting of that. And so in between Verona and Venice is Vicenza, Vicenza. So Vicenza is the number 3, not in order of importance, just the third main jewelry manufacturing center in Italy, and so I got a chance to go to a lot of different jewelry shows in Vicenza, an incredible city, just a powerhouse when it comes to both gold jewelry as well as gemstone and diamond jewelry. So it's kind of a cross between Arezzo, and if you put Arezzo and Valenza together, you get Vicenza. And so and all three, just like the cuisine of Italy, all 3 areas kind of have different styles and different aesthetics and different kind of forms of self-expression. So we're definitely going to be exploring the possibility of working with more and more of these companies in the future here with Diamonds and Music. I just kind of wanted to give the audience like an overview of, hey, this is what the map looks like as far as like the wholesale jewelry world. And by the way, Italy was the number one producer of jewelry in the world as far as like tonnage and value for literally hundreds of years. But recently, in the last 20 years, a lot of things have changed, mainly labor costs. And so now, in order of importance, where Italy was one and every other country was below Italy, now Italy is actually the fourth largest. So we have, China, India, Turkey, and then Italy. So
Wow.
just a lot of changes. If you can pay 10 workers the same amount of money that you pay one Italian worker, just
Hmm.
do the math. Like
Hmm.
the argument is, oh well, all these other countries, they don't produce as high quality jewelry. It's totally not the case. There's jewelry traditions in other countries too, but really fascinating kind of progression or digression and evolution of the state of the Italian jewelry industry. So I got a really unique chance to kind of like discover all this stuff when I was living there. 17 years ago, or however, whatever the math is, 2005. Um,
Yeah. Well, you're going to be there this summer. And
going
and even before that, I was going to connect that. We were going to talk a little bit about, I think, some conferences that are coming up. It's sort of like I can't believe it's already, today is the 19th of May.
just like
Blows
that.
me away. And like 3 weeks away is JCK in Vegas. And some of these Italian jewelers that we're talking about are going to be there. I'm going to be there. I'm going to try and get some pictures and some video to share with us on the show when I do from there. And then you're going to Italy that week.
I am, yeah. There's a huge Italian pavilion at this JCK show, and I think there's
Hmm.
more exhibitors this year. But yeah, just a lot of really innovative, cool stuff. Traditionally, it's funny. 18 karat gold was the norm in Italy. In fact, it was illegal to sell anything of lower fineness or purity of gold in Italy
Wow.
until recently because of the 5 times exponential like price increase of gold. You can actually not only produce 14 karat in Italy but also sell it in Italy now, whereas again, for literally hundreds of years 18 karat was the standard, and it was actually illegal to sell anything else, which is crazy to think about. But there's a lot of rules in Italy, like you can't have a cappuccino after 12 noon. And so I'm gonna hopefully be laughing with y'all and posting a bunch of funny stuff, which I call like the Italian gastronomic police. There's actually an agency called the Italian La Polizia Gastronomico. And I'm just kidding. There actually isn't a, but maybe I can do that when I'm out there. Is
That's
actually
it.
run around and put one of those like makeshift lights on top and make a sign, go around and arrest foreigners when they put too much Parmesan cheese on their dishes. Like I'm,
Totally.
I'm
It's a
serious.
different approach than Stanley Tucci's show. It's Pasquale's show. It's a little different approach.
A
I
little
love
bit more raw. We just get up in their
it. I
face.
love it.
I'll never forget, Bill. I was in Naples,
Love it.
and I was at the little cafe, and at the time I was eating sugar, and so I added sugar to my espresso, a little shot of espresso, and the
Yeah.
barista, like literally without any filter, was like, you're ruining your coffee. It's like rovinare il caffè, like you're ruining it. And I told him I was pissed off. I said, look, I bought it. I'm going to put as much damn sugar, and I just kept pouring the sugar and just looked at him like, but it was it's there's definitely some rules, and
Cultural rules. I love
it's a
very
fascinating
Italian
experience.
interaction there. Very Italian interaction.
My time in Italy, those 2 years like really left an indelible mark, and like you said, really paved the way for the trajectory of what I do now, and my insight and perspective into what I do, and the respect that I have for jewelry design and the whole
Mm,
art, and really just millennial, there's thousands of years of
mm.
jewelry making in Italy and different countries, of course, but it's pretty cool stuff.
Yeah, it is, man. It's so I love this. I just think this is so exciting in your connection and to represent your heritage and for us to have and anyone who's watching, customers and clients to have access directly to Italy. I mean, your cousin has a jewelry shop there that we'll see like two Italian products and that heritage through you is so cool, man.
It is cool.
It's
I'm
so
extremely
exciting.
proud and very you know excited to keep the tradition going and to spread the love and light, man. Angelucci Jewelry Diamonds and Music is a very fun project that I think we're both going to see, and I kind of want to lead into that with you and
Yeah.
just sort of like you know get into the mind of William Beard about the vision and the business model that we talked a
Yeah.
little bit about this yesterday, but please,
We
man.
did. Yeah. Well, we were just talking about, I think one of my realizations and to connect the dots. I mean, what I love is that the logo for Diamonds and Music in the corner is literally kind of a representation of you in the diamond industry and my work in the music industry. And you and I have made music together. So it's a representation of our relationship,
Right.
which we've talked about before. So people can understand that. It's kind of a distillation of the two of us and our businesses, our experiences. And the way that I see Diamonds and Music is literally like a jewelry brand or boutique, right? That we have. That's this online boutique at diamondsandmusic.com. That's a collective. It's a jewelry boutique and brand that's run like a record label.
Wow.
So what do I mean by that? Like why would you want to run a jewelry business or boutique like a record label? Well, there's two reasons, and it's basically the old and the new of the music industry. So the well, old and existing at any major record label, any part of the big music business, there are employees. There's a role called A&R. You might have heard of like an A&R rep or heard that in a movie. Someone might have heard that in a movie or a TV show, or you've been around or you work in music, and that stands for artists and repertoire. You don't hear those terms artists and repertoire used very often. They're actually traditionally they use the ampersand, the and symbol like we do. It would say A and R, and you can see that actually the use of the ampersand with some labels and other businesses historically in the music business. And we could maybe get into that at some other points, but it's kind of a fun thing that our logo and the brand harkens back to as well. And the point of A&R, of artists and repertoire, is you go out and find the next rock star. You go out and find the artists that are going to make up your label. And really, it's more than just the next rock star. A healthy label has a variety of different types of artists that produce and sell at different rates so that you have diversity, right? You just like investing. If you save, and I hope you do, if you invest in jewelry, that is an investment, increases in value. By the way, right? You've heard someone say have a diverse portfolio. That's what an index fund, of any of the big indexes, the S&P. Hear about it on the news. What did the S&P? What did the NASDAQ do? Those are just a variety of different companies that offer diversity. Well, you do the same thing at a record label with your A&R, and we're doing the same thing with jewelry designers.
Got it.
Same thing. They're artists, just like musicians, and we will maybe represent. You talked last week about the John Coltrane covers that you're gonna do. We're gonna distribute music, and we're distributing access to these jewelry designers. And they're artists, and their designs are intellectual property, just like a song, that has the same value. And so suddenly now you're actually in the design, the artist, and intellectual property representation business. So we're giving you, the customer, all of you out there, access to these different jewelry designers. And how do you do that? You go today to Diamonds and Music and click on Artisan. Here, I'm actually at some jewelry. Let me just go and show you. Let me just screen share right now. We've been through it before, but so that you can see this isn't just conceptual. This exists now today, right?
Right.
Here, I'm just going to screen share on the same screen, and excuse the moment of the infinity, but are you seeing this, the Diamonds and Music
Yep,
site?
I see it.
Yeah, so you're here and it clearly says shop our collection or shop artisan. And even in our collection, there's some access, but if you just click shop artisan here or artisan up here at the top, then it takes you to this page of a variety of what's starting out as three initial jewelry designers and brands in their own right. And we've talked a lot about Creative Brazil. We're very, accessible and have a great collection that I adore. But we've talked about my friend Ife and her Glow Candy Shop and Jewelry by Brett that we're bringing on. She's pregnant, so that's going to be a little bit on hold.
She's creating the best design, a human being, right?
Exactly. That's what Brett is doing. Exactly. But that's okay. We still have even access maybe to her designs and the ability to create some of those based on her design, even when she's not able to create the jewelry. And that's kind of the exciting thing that links us in part. Here's Creative Brazil. And I just want to mention, we talked about 18 karat gold, right? And that's standard, and that you don't see it as often, particularly in fashion jewelry.
Correct.
Right, that we're looking at here at these price points in fashion jewelry. Every single piece of Creative Brazil is 18 karat gold, which has this beautiful warmth to it. There's all these earrings here. I was just going to showcase these earrings today that allow you, access to these artisans. It's like they're an artist. It's like we represent a Brazilian set of artists and designers, just like you would have a record label that has a Brazilian band, or set of artists that you represent and distribute their music. And that's kind of explaining, I said there's two parts to this. The old world part of that, I'll let this go for now and just come back to us. But the new part of that we haven't talked about as much, is that think about what's called the digital revolution in terms of businesses, right? We're e-commerce now, and that coming to jewelry is actually really recent. It's really only shifted the jewelry industry in the last 2 years, which is hilarious, honestly, compared to the music industry, because what really started this was the iPod. That's what changed Apple. Right?
Sure.
That's what made Apple is now the most successful corporation in the history of humanity. There's never been an enterprise in the history of humanity that has produced more revenue. It's incredible. And what kicked that off was the iPod, which led to the iPhone. But the iPod is what changed, and it was the revolution, the cutting edge of culture. I always love to say is the music industry. If you want to know like what's happening in culture and design, and we talked about that being like Italy's legacy, right? Like Italy's legacy from Rome is to now conquer you by design.
Right. Wow.
And they still do to this day. Well, look at the music industry. The first industry that dramatically got changed because of the iPod, a digital music player, was the music industry. They were digitized first, and they're 20 years into it now, almost 15, 20 years into what's coming to the jewelry industry in the last 2 years. And why? That's not a knock on the jewelry industry, just so folks know my experience. And literally, I learned this last year at JCK. The most firsthand was going with you and learning about introducing Diamonds and Music and building this brand. So hopefully folks are connecting all these dots here with us, was that, they didn't really need a e-commerce so much, because the jewelry industry, what I experienced is that the wholesalers that you just talked about, all these wholesalers and designers in Italy, literally their business model in part, and this is putting it in a blunt way, has been, you put cash money on the table, I give you gold and diamonds.
That's right.
And it's worked for 2,000 years like that.
Correct.
And it still works that way in part today.
Handshake.
I don't need all your fancy technology. You put cash on the table and I give you gold and diamonds, or I give you these precious metals and
That's
stones.
exactly it.
And it functions very well that way. Let's not, it's really easy in today's society to get all caught up in technology and digital solutions, but there is a shift that's happened and happening, and it did happen in the music industry first. And what's exciting for us is we're taking some of that business model of the modern music industry and artisan repertoire in a digital business model that exists in the music industry that I've worked in. And we're applying that method of music business to the business of jewelry and e-commerce.
I think that's great,
And
and there's a few reasons
yeah,
why, and in my what occurs to me is, the ability to not recruit but discover such incredible talent that's just out there
yeah.
internationally, locally, nationally, internet, just period. And to be able to connect with these burgeoning artists, some of them maybe more well known than others, and really like get into the mind of the artist and introduce that brand to the rest of the world. Whereas maybe without this platform that we're creating would not have had the trajectory that it would. And let me tell you, like I've met some designers, young designers at in Milano in Italy when I was living there, and just there's tons of talent, you know,
Hmm.
out there. And this is actually a super cool, thing that we're doing here, man. I'm
It
really
is, and we're doing it today. I mean, I just want to tell people not to
right.
like keep hitting, but I get so excited. Creative Brazil is not available on Amazon. You cannot buy unless somebody buys their products and then resells it themselves. They intentionally do not sell and are not available on Amazon. So that's kind of like the end all be all of, well, anyone can access, right, something already in terms of commerce, e-commerce. I mean, they're the 80,000 pound gorilla marketplace, like
Pretty
Google
much
is for search and on the internet. And
correct.
but you can access a brand in Creative Brazil that's high quality, beautifully designed, has this connection to nature that you can't get somewhere else right at Diamonds and Music. So that is today what we have going on, and this is just our foundation and just our beginning.
Definitely, man. Super exciting. It's such a great approach. You're bringing such a fresh approach, man, to my world, and I'm just really excited to create just some great stuff. And going back to what we do and what we can offer, and what's in it for me, for the client, for you,
Mm,
the viewer.
mm,
A concierge, private jeweler, one-on-one approach to. Um, an industry that in the past has been more like, hey, pick out something in the showcase and then go on your merry way. We want to provide you with a curated, personal, one-on-one private jewelry experience without the private jeweler price tag. And so what that means is that,
yes.
we have access to just about everything. We have access to these incredible designers when it comes to fashion jewelry, fine jewelry, and so we want to serve you. Give us a call, guys.
That's it. That's how you access this is you, and that's when it works best, right? Like that the way that your business model at Angelucci, and then yes, you can go on the website and buy something, and that's great. That is a part of our businesses. We need that, but what really is it gets exciting is when clients are calling us, they're booking appointments with us. We get on a call, like, a Zoom call, a video call like this. We have phone calls with them and we work with them to find the right piece or to build a custom piece. But it doesn't have to be custom. It can be just, hey, I saw you talking about Creative Brazil and that's cool. And I'm not sure what to get. Great.
Mhm.
Let's go shopping together.
Definitely.
That's what we're here
That's what
for.
we're here for. We're your personal shopper, and all these amazing memories. Let's create them together, man. Your anniversary, your
Mm,
engagement, your someone's birthday. Um, I'm really excited, man, about everything. This is a truly omni-channel approach that we're taking. E-commerce, virtual appointments, and in person. Can't we have all covered, bases covered, man. I just
Yeah.
really appreciate you taking the deep dive and giving me and our viewers like a better understanding of the philosophy of the DNA of the vision behind Diamonds and Music, man, and
Yeah,
how
and
we had
and
this
that's the
conversation.
brand, right? Like both
Yeah,
of us. Today's episode,
this is
I
us,
really
man.
want people to understand like that is the logo and the brand is going to start to we're producing jewelry pieces around, right? So when you if you dig our brand and you're rocking that, it's know that it has all this depth and all of this behind it. It is the heritage of Italian jewelry and the digital revolution in the music business brought together into one business and collective.
It's our thing.
Do what you're gonna do.
Da-da-da-da. Yeah.
All right, yeah, well, on us singing, we are going to start singing more, folks, so just get ready, buckle up, because this show is we're just getting started, man.
So 2 websites, check them out, angeluccijewelry.com and diamondsandmusic.com. We're
Yeah,
here
connect with
to
us.
serve you. The 800 numbers are on the top homepage of both websites. Reach out to us on Facebook. This will be streaming every single week on several different platforms, including Diamonds and Music, Facebook page, Angelucci Jewelers Facebook page, along with 4 other platforms, guys. So
Yes.
we're here to serve you, and I'm really excited. I've got some great projects coming up. I think in the fall we're going to be releasing not only this John Coltrane album that's going to be released on Diamonds and Music, but also we're going to be releasing a lot of musical instrument jewelry pieces that are going to be
Yes.
just fun. We're
Oh.
getting out of our comfort zone here, guys, and we're going to be creating some incredible jewelry to share.
I love it.
So that about wraps it up, man. I
Yeah.
appreciate you very much, Bill. I hope you have a wonderful weekend. And to all our viewers out there, stay safe, be well.
Yes.
God bless you and your families. We appreciate you. We love you guys a lot.
You do.
And don't worry, we're not going anywhere. We're going to keep sharing and
Yeah.
keep plugging away here, man. It's so exciting.
Stay on this journey with us. So yeah, blessings. Thank you, Bezos. Ciao, ciao, everybody. Thank you.
Ciao. A presto.